At a certain point, as you scale, it becomes more about subtracting things that are more of a distraction and less of a good ROI, either money-wise or time-wise, in place of those that are. Once you get some traction and you've gotten some results, you should be then doubling down on what's working really well for you and cutting out pretty much everything else that is just working well enough. See, typically what people do is they ladder jump, right? Or they niche hop. So they might start here climbing one ladder, let's call this drop shipping. And they might get caught up in shiny object syndrome and see something else that looks super interesting. Maybe it's cryptocurrency. So what do? They jump over to the other ladder that is cryptocurrency, and then maybe they see something that's, okay, well, maybe we're interested in Shopify drop shipping now instead of retail drop shipping. So they hop over to the Shopify ladder and they start climbing that ladder. And this is just a perpetual thing. They keep ladder hopping and they never really make any progress on one specific metaphorical ladder. Or what's even worse is they try to do all of these together and then they barely climb any. If you're only focused on climbing one thing at a time, then obviously you can get a lot higher a lot faster. And this is Pareto's principle, or the 80-20 principle, in action. And here's basically what this is and how it applies to your business. 20% of your effort drives about 80% of your results. 20% of your products probably account for about 80% of your profit margin. Although, on the other hand, 80% of your effort drives only 20% of your results, and 80% of your products probably account for about 20% of your profit. You should focus on cutting out the inefficiencies in your life and in your business so you can get more done in less time. And it also means that you should double down on the 20% of things that you've identified are the most meaningful, the most profitable, the most productive. So here's some examples of the 80-20 principle in life, right? To show you that it is a real principle. 80% of the earth is water and only 20% of it's land. 80% of the land is in 20% of the countries. 80% of sunshine occurs in 20% of the countries. 80% of snow and rain occurs in 20% of the countries. 80% of crime is committed by 20% of the people. 80% of your carpet wear, I thought this was an interesting one, happens on just 20% of the most walked on parts of your carpet. 80% of the earth's population lives in 20% of the countries. 80% of the US population lives in 20% of the states. 80% of the traffic jams happen on just 20% of the roads. 80% of the traffic jams also happen at just 20% of the day. 80% of car accidents happen in just 20% of intersections or on 20% of roads. So you're probably sitting there thinking like, oh wow, this is a cool concept, but like, why are you telling me this? Well, apply the 80-20 principle to your business, right? So ask yourself, what 20% of tasks do you do every day that bring about 80% of the results for your business? That's going to be a crucial question. When you answer that question, well, obviously that's really going to help you be more productive, be more efficient, make more money, etc. The point is, streamline everything wherever possible. Ask yourself where things, if things that you think are important actually are as important as you think that they are. Really analyze this. Simple is always better.